Hi, I'm Aidan, language tutor, and here's another one of my video lessons based on a PDF that it's like an article about the passive voice presented in PDF format. And I wrote it a few years ago just because some of my students were asking about the passive voice. The original was one article about the passive voice in English and German, but I split it into two, and so I've done two videos. This one is about English. So what we're going to do is look at lots of examples of the passive voice, and and I'm going to read the text out. So it's a bit like a kind of talking book idea. The passive voice is a name that originates in Latin grammar, and it's one of two voices. The other is active voice. Many language learners find it difficult to understand, even though it's used all the time in English. In fact, I used it in the previous sentence. Did you notice? It is used. I wanted to try and help students to understand the passive voice, so I decided to write this post, and now it's a video lesson. I have colour-coded the three parts to make up the passive voice. The subject is in blue, the verb is in red, the past participle is in green. We'll start with some examples in English, and I've taken them from a source where the passive voice is used a lot, and that's the news. And there we have a photo, I think it's from Wikipedia, of a motorway accident. So I've written this fictitious report about a motorway accident, typical of many that you'll hear in the media, on the TV or radio news, or reports on web pages. To vary the voices in the video, I decided to use an AI voice. This is Lily. It's one of the voices offered by 11 Labs. I've had mixed results so far, but let's see what sort of job this voice makes of it.
In an accident on the motorway, a car was hit by a heavy goods vehicle. 2 people were injured, 1 seriously. They were taken to hospital by ambulance. The driver was arrested at the scene and taken to a police station where he was questioned by the police. The motorway remained closed for 2 hours. The wreckage was cleared and the motorway was reopened by the police.
Well, I must say, very impressive. Maybe not quite as good as a human voice for expression and intonation, but still very good, and certainly good enough to learn from. So, in the colour coding, we can see that the passive voice, each time the passive voice is used, it consists of 3 parts. In blue is the subject. Looking at the top line, we can see a car. A car was hit. So the second part is the verb, and the third part is the past participle. It's the same when you say I have hit. Same with the next one. 2 people were injured, like when you say I have injured. 2 people were, we use it in the plural because it's a plural subject, 2 people, and so on. So it's subject, verb, past participle. The wreckage was cleared. The motorway was reopened. We can say who did it, like reopened by the police, or we can just leave that out. That's to say the wreckage was cleared, because it's often used to talk about an action where you don't want to mention who did it. Another area where you'll find the passive voice is in the history of buildings. So there's a photo from Wikipedia, Windsor Castle in the south of England. Windsor Castle was built by William the Conqueror. It was extended many times. In the Second World War, it was used as a refuge for the royal family. The castle is used regularly for ceremonial occasions. In 1992, part of Windsor Castle was damaged by fire. Yes, that was the Queen. She said in a speech, it was my annus horribilis. She used Latin to say it was my horrible year. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with the passive voice. But there we can see again the examples, colour-coded. Windsor Castle, the subject. Was as the verb. Built from build, and so on. Was damaged by fire. The passive voice consists of the 3 parts: subject, verb to be, and the past participle. He was arrested. They were delayed. I was stopped. They were caught. That's from the verb catch, of course. He was taken. The past participle is used in the perfect tense. The police have arrested. So it's the perfect form. It's the past participle that is used in the passive voice, because that describes what happened to the thing or person. But there's more to the passive voice than meets the eye. If we look more closely, we can see interesting shades of meaning. In colloquial English, got is often used instead of the verb to be. The parcel got damaged in the post, which is the same as the parcel was damaged in the post. It sounds a bit more colloquial when you say got. The painting got stolen. Better English would be the painting was stolen. The word get expresses the idea of receiving an action and also becoming or changing from one state to another. For instance, it is getting cold. That's to say, it is becoming cold. I am getting tired. That's to say, I am becoming tired. It gets easier. It becomes easier. And these are not colour-coded because it's not the passive voice. It's get in the meaning of to become. So let's take a look at some more examples of the passive voice. And that's my photograph of the Eiffel Tower, taken on my visit in February 2025 at dusk. Yes, pay attention to the colour coding and just be aware again of the structure, the three parts: subject, verb and past participle. The Eiffel Tower was named after Gustave Eiffel. The concept was developed by Maurice Koechlin. It was constructed from 1887 to 89. At first, it was hated by many Parisians. It was intended as a temporary exhibit. The Eiffel Tower was almost torn down and scrapped in 1909. It was saved when its value for radio broadcasts was recognised. It was renovated in 1986 and is repainted every 7 years. It is considered to be one of the most striking pieces of architecture in the world. It is visited by around 7 million people per year. The passive voice can also be used in the present continuous for an action that's going on at the moment. The car is being repaired at the moment. The man is currently being questioned by the police. So it's the quiz. The police are questioning him. And the people at the garage are repairing the car. You would also hear the following phrase in a shop. And it's also the name of a famous TV comedy. Are you being served? Are you being served? That's what you might hear in a shop. Yes, a famous TV comedy from the 1970s. So whether in news reports, in historical accounts, in the media, or just in daily life, the passive voice is there all around us. You'll hear it every day. So that's how you can gradually familiarise yourself with it and also use it yourself. So I hope you found this little video lesson useful, and I'll be doing more soon. I'm doing the other one, the German one, pretty soon as well, if you're learning German. So that's all from me, Aiden Languages Tutor. So what slogan shall I finish with? I think we'll just say, enjoy language learning.